All right. Shalom. First and foremost, all praise be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom and to the elect. All right, I'm the brother Ashiyar, and I'm here with
Shalom. I'm sorry. Shalom.
oh good.
My bad.
Yep. So once again, the spirit has gathered us together, all right, to get into some current events. Obviously, there's a lot on the table to get into, so we're going to try to cover, Lord's will, we cover as much as possible. All right, and Lord's will, this is edifying, right? So, war is the main topic right now that's been going on. All right, our Lord Yahweh Shai, if you want to open it up, we could get that in Matthew 24, just to bring out the words of our Lord, because at the end of the day, we sift through all of this news and we sift through all these different political commentators, but we have the ultimate, word, which the word is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has the final word. At the end of the day, these people, they speculate, what we're gonna go into. Most of these guys, like Colonel McGregor, they pretty much on point with what they say. All right, but ultimately, if it doesn't coincide with the scriptures, we throw it out. Okay, and we analyze it so that we can warn you out there that are of the household of faith. All right, because the Lord told us to do what? To watch and pray. So we watch, pay attention to the signs. These are signs. This is part of our job. All right. We are spiritual reporters. So we go into current events, these news issues, breaking news, and we break it down to the best of our ability. All right. But the Lord has the final word. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has the final word and the final say on what goes down. And he gave it to us. All right. So if you have that in Matthew 24, we can go ahead and bring that up.
When we start at 6,
Yeah.
Matthew 24:6. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Mm-hmm. So we have wars and rumors of wars. Okay, so it's not just rumors, there's also wars that's going to be popping off, and this is clearly one of them. All right, you have they just said that the Kurds apparently are going in there. All right, and just to get some information on the Kurds. Okay. Okay. The Kurds are an indigenous Indo-Iranian ethnic group of 25 to 40 million people in the Middle East, considered the world's largest stateless nation. All right, so they kind of hover around different nations. Primarily Sunni Muslim, they inhabit a mountainous region known as Kurdistan. Now, the Sunnis and the Shia, which Iran is Shia primarily, they had beef for quite a long time. All right, that's well documented. All right, but it says here they stretch across what parts of Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Armenia. Okay, they maintain a distinct language, culture, and history, having faced significant oppression and a long-standing struggle for autonomy. Okay, so they are apparently going in, sending actual troops into Iran. All right, so we're going to continue to monitor that. But again, that ties right in with our Lord Yahweh, with what our Lord Yahweh Shai said: wars and rumors of wars. Okay, so there's wars, and even as there's wars going on, there's rumors of what? Russia and Iran, Russia and China, are they going to jump in? A lot of people are thinking that Russia and China have forsaken Iran, but they have not, because they've still been supplying them throughout this whole thing. And this is war. You can't just be reckless and just jump in. That's how America and Co does it. But these other nations are moving a little differently. Okay. They don't have the same hubris of America, which we know the pride of America is going to bring it to destruction. All right, so I do have this video from Colonel McGregor. I'm gonna leave it open for y'all brothers if you got any points or precepts you want to bring out before we get into it. All right, so we can get right into this. All right, now Colonel McGregor made a good point here, so I want to bring this out again. Fair use. All right, this is just for educational purposes, quote unquote.
To bomb, but bombing on its own has never.
Can y'all hear that?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
That's a different question. I think we can continue to bomb, but bombing on its own has never produced the desired result. I mean, this is what we're up against, and certainly since the end of the Second World War until the present time, no bombing campaign on its own has brought any country to its knees. So I don't see that's going to happen with Iran. The bigger issue for me, though, Joe.
In Vietnam, they had napalm, and they thought that napalm would be the thing to bring the Viet Cong to their knees. But ultimately, the Viet Cong, you got to also look at what they're fighting for. That was the Viet Cong fighting was for their existence. Just like right now, Iran, they're fighting for their existence. Whereas America, you know, the troops, you can see they're over there making TikToks and dancing around and fooling around, man. So this bloated whore of a country, America, Babylon the Great, does not have the same leverage that it did in times of old. And we're going to get into this dude, predictive history. All right. And he makes a lot of good points, all right, about asymmetrical warfare, which we're going to touch on that too. And we're going to also touch on the topic, you know, the title of the lesson, but just getting into a bunch of things at once. So we're going to cover a bunch, not just the topic, the title, but we'll cover a few other things. But we'll play the rest of this.
Judge, right now is the economy. You know, President Trump did not pick up the phone and call Prime Minister Modi in India or the Prime Minister in Japan or the President in South Korea, let alone Xi, obviously, about whom he obviously doesn't care, and ask the question, look, we're considering military action. What will be the effect on you? Is this going to damage you? Well, right now, I'd say it's very damaging to both Japan and South Korea, horrendously damaging. Both of them import between 60 and 70% of their petroleum from the Persian Gulf. Now, China gets 50%, but the Chinese have built up enormous strategic reserves. So this is going to affect them very much. And in the meantime, they're building new pipelines coming out of Russia. You know, by the way, Russia is doing a land office business. Everybody that needs oil is turning to Russia. So if our goal was to enrich Russia, make it stronger and more effective, gosh, I think we've managed that.
Can any of these objectives at all be achieved?
So yeah, that was basically the point I wanted to get, was that, you know, everything that Esau does right now, he continues to step in shit because the Lord is bringing this man's kingdom down. All right, so he's going to be able to establish his beast system, but it's going to be very messy. It's not going to go according to how he wants it. It's going to be, you know, it's not a good plan. All right, and it's going to be poorly executed, but it is going to be able to get these people, all right, because they thrive off of chaos. You know, Esau establishes chaos. That's why they have the saying ordo archeo. Okay, but in the chaos, he's not going to be able to, you know, bring it all automatically just back to normal. All right. So there's going to continue to be chaos. I wanted to get this. If y'all had any precepts, you could bring them out. I did want to get if a brother could hold 2 Corinthians 2:11 and bring that out.
You want it now?
Oh yeah, you could bring it out.
2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yep. And you know, all of the devices that they have, which is warfare, violence, psychological warfare. We're going to get into some of these jakes that are very simple, that have been going to these other countries. You know, these women love to gad abroad, and even these men, they gad abroad in countries that, in all seriousness, they have no business going to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. All right. You don't hear none of us brothers say, yo, brother, I'm about to go to Dubai next weekend.
On the Yemen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fly by Qatar real quick. I'm gonna be up in Doha chilling. You don't see that because we know that's not wise. All right, and even people that are not in the truth, if you was just all you had to do was look up a little bit of global news, you know, and you would know that it wouldn't be wise to go to those countries, especially with the climate right now. But again, that's why pull up Isaiah 47. All right. She dwelleth without care, man. And it's not just the elites, it's the whole population, because as is the king, so is his subjects. The people of America, Babylon the Great, are extremely prideful, just like Esau is, man. They don't think that they could ever be taken down, and they think they can go abroad and I'm American and nobody's gonna fuck with me. Well, the days of that happening are over with, man.
Yeah, even the devil keepeth not at home.
Yep. You see, that's a trait of Esau. Keep him not at home. That's also a characteristic of a whore.
Yep.
She's always gadding abroad. She's always out and about. She can never keep her ass at home.
As a thirsty traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Matter of fact, yeah, pull that out too. Bible shot. So Isaiah 47 and then thirsty traveler. That's the American mindset. Because your life in America is so miserable, even though America is supposedly this great country, you got to go to these other countries to try to feel fulfilled. All right. And it's only temporary. You go there for maybe a weekend or a week or so, and then you drag your ass back to the hell that is America. You can go to these international places like Dubai, the devil's playground out there. All right. And have a little time and then come back and you get to take pictures and floss and flex like you've been doing something. Okay. Out there in the desert. Because most of our people can't do that. So the few that do, they've been able to sell out or some jakes do have money, and they're able to go out there, but it really is it's pennies. Okay. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses and try to keep up with appearances. And now you end up stuck in a foreign country. Okay. So y'all gonna learn the hard way, man. And you being oblivious to what's going on in the world is now having real life consequences, man. Which is a beautiful thing. All right. So, you could bring out those precepts if you got them.
Con, you want Isaiah 47 and what?
You could get
I got both of them, but what you want? 47.
Yeah, bring out that Sirach first, and then we'll get Isaiah 47, and we'll say Isaiah 47 and 7.
All right. This Ecclesiastes. My bad. You want to say something? About?
You got it.
This Ecclesiastes 26 and 12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found. Oh, let me look at the verse above. My bad. Yeah, Con. I'm gonna start at 10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against you.
Mm-hmm.
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow.
That's talking about an actual whore, and on a spiritual level, our people are spiritually whores in the spirit of whoredom. So they go to these Muslim countries and they go and basically they bow down to the gods over there. Okay, they adopt the lifestyle. Jacob become Muslim for a weekend.
Yeah.
You see whores, bitches work in a strip club in Babylon the Great, and then go to Dubai and dress like a virgin.
Yeah, but you know what they doing behind closed doors over there? They going over there to make doo-doo videos.
Yep. Getting shitted on and doing all types of unspeakable acts, man.
Bestiality as well.
Mm-hmm. Fucking camels and all types of shit.
Yep.
Sick shit. Okay. So that's what Jake is up to in those countries, man. Ain't nothing good. Okay, that's why, when you end up stuck in them damn countries, good for your ass, man. You should have listened to the prophets. Shit, you should have listened to common sense. Common sense would have told you if war is being put on the table. But again, this is a good time to bring out Isaiah 47. You had any points, Shalom?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring out that same thing in the GNT, though. I think this is.
Yeah, that's what I was great to do too. Go, you got it, bro.
So yeah, this is Sirach 26, but I'm gonna start verse 10. It says, "If your daughter is determined to have her own way, keep a close watch on her. If you don't, she'll take advantage of any chance she gets." And that's how American women are. They'll take advantage because they see opportunity. Because don't look, even though Eve is the weaker vessel and things like that, don't look at her as stupid. Our people, when they come to do wickedness, they're very wise to do wicked stuff and very wise to do things. So that's when the brain, the cogs will start moving. When it's time to do something smart, oh, how do we do that? But when it's time to do something foolish, the brain starts moving, the gears start turning. It says, verse 11, if she is too self-willed, if she is too self-willed, be on guard and don't be surprised if she disappoints you. She'll spread her legs anywhere for any man who wants her, just as a thirsty traveler would whatever water is available. So whoever and whatever is available, if the opportunity presents itself and it works to her favor, she will take advantage of the opportunity. So just wanted to bring that on the GNT.
Yep.
That's it, man. Yeah, that's what they'll do. So they like to go and frolic around in these other countries, man. And that's men and women. Okay, they all out there playing the harlot. All right, so I'm gonna play this real quick, and then we can get that Isaiah 47. But I'm gonna play this real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Are sitting on the sidelines monitoring everything. They're in close touch with the government. They're providing satellite intelligence, which accounts for some of the tremendous successes, particularly in Israel and our U.S. bases. All of our bases have been destroyed. Our harbor installations are destroyed. We're actually having to fall back on India and Indian ports, which are less than ideal. That's what the Navy says. And I think Iran, much to our disappointment, is faring very, very well. China and Russia are sitting on.
So that's what Colonel McGregor said. But, again, you go and look at American media and yeah, we've been hammering them. And it's like, no shit, you have bombs. You can drop a lot of bombs. Nobody's denying that. But the thing that people don't understand, you see, people are very surface level in their understanding, especially Americans. They don't go deeper into like, how does Iran even function? Iran functions as a country. There's cells, right? There's different, I guess you could say provinces, or they're cut into sectors, right? Military sectors, and they can operate independently. So if you cut the head off of it, it's like King Ghidorah or like the Hydra, where you chop one head off and a bunch of other heads is popping up still, right? Because those different cells, those different military districts within Iran, they're able to operate independently and still hit targets, right? So you would have to take every single one of those apart in a big, big fucking country. This is bigger than Afghanistan, bigger than Iraq. Okay? But yet, because of American pride, they think, yeah, we're just gonna go drop some bombs. And it's like, yes, you can decimate this country. They've done that. They took out the Ayatollah, which, by the way, he's the one who had a fatwa, which is basically like, in their religion, it was an interpretation of their text that basically they will not have any nuclear weapons. All right. So by taking him out, they guarantee that they're going to develop them or they're going to get them from China or Russia. So everything Esau's doing is leading more and more to his demise. All right. So you could bring that out in Isaiah 47, Baba Kushah.
Khan, it's Isaiah 47:7, right?
Yep.
And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, hear now this, thou art given to pleasures, and dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Okay, so there it is, man. All right. The Lord said that in this verse, a lady, you will be a lady forever, right? A lady is like a woman of royalty. Okay. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. They didn't lay it to heart. They didn't consider in their mind that what will be the latter end of all this oppression. Okay, because you oppress the Lord's people. So now everything you do is going to be destruction. All right, everything you do is going to be your own demise. Okay. It said what? That she would not be set as a widow and neither know the loss of children. Meaning what? You're not going to experience tragedy. You're not going to be the one to take an L, but you're going to take the L. All right, and you've been taking L's. America has lost a bunch of pretty much all of these wars is lost on. Vietnam, all right, got their ass kicked. Yeah, they spent a bunch of money. Yeah, they killed a bunch of people there. Okay, but that doesn't define you winning a war or not, especially with the objectives of what you have. All right. Americans are so naive to think that, yeah, death and destruction means that you won a war. No, it doesn't mean that. For you to have won the war, they will have to completely overhaul the regime in Iran, install their puppet, and have everything, go according to their agenda, which part of their agenda is to bring chaos. All right. So by bringing chaos, they're fulfilling that. All right. So because people look at it and say, well, man, they have these type of things that they want to do, but really the end result is chaos anyways. The thing about the chaos is that Esau's so reckless. That's why it says, is there no more wisdom in teaming? All of that chaos ends up affecting it ends up affecting back home. All right, it ends up affecting things that's happening domestically and the economy, which we know they want to bring down the house. They want to bring down the economy to bring in the MOTV. All right. But again, as brothers have said before, the Lord is going to slap the remote out of his hand. So he's going to lose the illusion of control that he thinks he has over these events. Spiraling out of control, he's going to lose control of it. Okay. So, yeah, that was good. And you also read, yes, the enchantments. Okay. Lean into your enchantments, right? Okay. But all these things are still going to come up with you, which is the tragedy. All right. I had this right here from
My bad. After I want to read it in the GNT. After.
you can go ahead and do it. I got another video I'm gonna play after.
All right. So this is Isaiah 47 in the GNT. But I just wanted to focus on the aspect of dealing, because eventually we're going to get into the aspect of dealing with the citizens. Those women that are or some individuals who are trapped in Dubai. And like you were saying earlier, this is not just speaking to the elites, but this is even speaking to the people as well, because the people have the same mindset like the elite. So this is Isaiah 47 and 7 in the GNT. It says, you thought you would always be a queen. Now, what is a queen? Right? A queen is a woman that is on a high elevation. She's not like other people. And if you notice the attitude, especially of our people, how they act, sorry, you women out there, but ladies, the way that you act, maybe not all of you, but a majority of you that you see on social media, they act like what? A queen. They act like they're royalty, although they have a regular 9 to 5 like you. They have a regular job just like you. They're common people, but what? The attitude that people act, they act like they are more than what they really are. Everybody thinks of themselves to be like royalty and did not take these things to heart or think how it would all end, right? So the brother's eventually going to show a video of a woman over there in Dubai crying. So you didn't think that, hey, all this stuff happening with all this war and stuff, you didn't think that it would affect you. You didn't think that, hey, you would get stuck over there, that you would be in a bad predicament, right? Because a queen, she's at a elevated position. She has protection, right? She would usually have what? bodyguards to protect it. And that's how people live. That's how people move and act. Although they don't physically have a bodyguard over them, but their mentality and the way that they live their life so carefree, you would think that they have bodyguards in them, that they would just go do all these things, not looking at the time that they're living in, and be like, yo, I guess you're just going to be super protected. It says, verse 8, listen to this, you lovers of pleasure, right? Which Americans love to party and all those type of things. You think that you are safe and secure, right? That's the spirit that America gives, safety and security, off of nothing. You've done absolutely nothing, but people here just feel so safe and secure. You claim you are as great as God. Now, people are not saying that they are God, although you have, I think, what those 5%, I am God, you are God, those type of dudes. But their attitude, their mindsets, the way they act, because what is a God, right? A God is someone who is on a very high elevation, that is above mortals, that's above people, that's not like common people. And that's the mentality, and that's the way people act. They act as if they're God. They're not saying that they're God, but their actions and the way they act, the way that they think, they would act as if they're better than everybody else. So you have a bunch of people here in society that act and think, although they're not outwardly saying it, but act and think that they are God, that think that they are better than what they really are. So again, you claim you are as great as God, that there is no one else like you. Hey, that's something, especially Eve says, oh, I'm not like these other bitches. I'm different. I'm her. What you have to say, I'm him. That's to basically say that, hey, I'm not like everybody else. You thought that you would never be a widow or suffer loss, I'm sorry, or suffer the loss of your children. But in a moment, in a single day, both of these things will happen, right? So in a moment just like that, your life, or people's life, is going to completely change. Where you're the things that you thought that you were never going to lose, you're going to lose these things. In spite of all your magic, which I'm not sure how it says in the KJV. Hold on, let me see real quick. What verse is that? 9. How's that written? How's that written in KJV in 9? I just
Uh,
want,
the ninth verse.
yeah.
It says, "But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day: the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments."
Right, so that's verse 9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the sorceries, right, which you could liken unto your wisdom and things like that. And that's what people get into. They think that they're money. They think that they're not. Some people have a tattoo called self-made. So they think that their way of doing things is what's going to keep them up. That's going to keep them afloat. I'm going to be able to just, essentially, I'm going to be, I got me. I know what I'm doing. But hey, in spite of all this magic or this wisdom, you could say, right, you will lose your husband, you will, and your children. So you're gonna lose things, right? Because your husband and your children represents what? Something that is close to you. So the things that you care about in this world, despite having all this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you're gonna lose the things that are close to you because you never thought, right, that you would ever lose these things. You thought that you were safe and secure, that everything was going to be all right. Because why? You think that you think of yourself higher than what you are, right? And a God, think about it. The mindset of a God doesn't concern themselves with things of a mortal. So that's the way that people think. Oh, I'm all right. A God's not going to sit there and worry about mortals. Mortals worry about what? Life, death, paying bills, and all this. But the way that people act, it's like, oh, I'm good. I got nothing to worry about. I'm gonna be straight. And it's like, dude, you just like everybody else. But the way that they act as if they're on that God status. Like, yo, you think the most I got to worry about bills and anything like that? They got to worry about, yo, that's nothing to me. I don't got to worry about. That's what you got to worry about. Not me. I ain't got no bills. You got bills, not me. So it's the same thing. You would think that these people, the way that they act and move, they ain't got bills or anything. That they're not mortal. That they here it is. They'll talk a certain way, but hey, you can get smacked by a bus. But just want to bring that out in the GNT, just to bring out different wording and certain phrasings, how it says, just to hit a different point.
Mm-hmm. Hey, beautiful. You had anything, Shamyar?
Nah, you got it.
All right. So I do want to get into a couple of these clips. All right, of these people, which this is like the meat and potatoes of the topic. What we're going into, right? Okay. You had yeah. Let's play this one right here. This one in particular.
As you know, I'm the girl that decided to spend her 30th birthday in Dubai. And I'm coming on here very humbly, asking my president to just seize it. I'm an American taxpaying citizen. And I'm now stuck over here. Since the 24th. I've been blessed to be able to buy 3 different flights from 3 different airlines, and they've all been canceled. I don't know who this will reach. I don't know if it'll reach anyone. But I am not the person who gets on here like this. But I am desperate.
Cry me a river.
You got to shout, man.
But you see that right there? That's an example of what we were just getting into in Isaiah 47. Before this whole stuff, before she went to Dubai, what was she thinking? Right? She was thinking, yo, I'm gonna have a fun time. I'm gonna go to Dubai for my 30th birthday. I think she's 30, right? Or whatever. For her birthday and things like that. I'm gonna have a fun time. No care in the world. What was it? How would I read it? Isaiah 47? Careless and carefree, right? I think that's also Isaiah 32, if I'm not mistaken. Rise up, you women that are easy, careless daughters. Careless, carefree. Nothing's happening. Not aware that, hey, you're going into an area that is in the middle of a war and things can happen over there. Do you think it's really wise to go over there and spend time on your birthday? Because think about it, your birthday, you in that mentality, you're not thinking about war or whatever. You're thinking about just having a good time. But that area is not in a good time. But you're going over there thinking that you're going to have a good time. So that's an example of Isaiah 47 right there, where it's like, yo, you don't think about the latter end. You don't think that, hey, anything bad can happen. Do you think before she got down there that she was thinking, oh, I'm going to be stuck there? No. She was thinking like, yo, whatever she's going to do over there, I'm going to do that and then come back. Now you stuck over there. Not sure how long you're going to be stuck over there.
Yeah, there you go. And don't expect no tears from us, man. You know, I can't feel it coming down my eyes, so I got to make the lesson cry.
Hey, let me read this real quick based on what Shamar just said from the NLT. Isaiah 47 again. Make the lesson cry. It says, you said, I will reign forever as a queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences. Like, what could be the consequences of going into a war-ridden country? Verse 8, listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. And as is the king, so is the people. So is the subjects. I forget how it's worded, but they following right after they father the devil. They carefree, pleasure-loving. It says, listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I'm the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. Nothing can happen to me. It's my birthday weekend. I'm going to Dubai. You know, I take my pictures. I'm a post on social media, and it's going to be what Jake say a lot now. Dubai don't owe me nothing. You know.
Yep.
It was a movie. It was a movie. You know, you got to do it.
Yeah, I have this scripture you just quoted, Sirach 10:2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Matter of fact, I'm going to read the third one as well. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And these people are not prudent. Prudence is dealing with foresight. Prudence is dealing with being able to see ahead. And they just goes to show that they don't give a fuck about you American people. All right, because all these other countries, UK, they were able to get their people up out of there. India, these are considered lesser countries to America. America, again, Apostle Tahar said this a few times, is a paper tiger, man. Nero is a paper tiger. The American military is a paper tiger. Now, it's on the surface, yeah, it's you know, billions and billions and trillions of dollars, $1 trillion budget, but that's a lot of that is just beating on your chest. All right, which we're going to get into asymmetrical warfare about how the war is actually going. Because if you were listening to Trump and Hexev, you would think, oh yeah, America's kicking ass. Which, yeah, they're dropping a bunch of bombs. It's no surprise that America, with all the billions, it would be a damn shame if they wouldn't be able to, fuck Iran up. Which we know they're doing that. But at what cost, man? Bankrupting themselves when Iran is doing devastating damage with a $20,000-$30,000 drone. Okay, which we're gonna get into that video next, matter of fact, just to show you, man. And also, I wanted to bring a point out that scripture says pleasure loving kingdom. But it is not just talking about the elites, it's talking about everybody that lives in the kingdom that is the spirit of America.
Yep.
That's in that American spirit. And that's a spirit of dwelling carelessly. That is how Americans are, man. That is the mindset of your everyday Babylonian. You're citizen of America, Babylon the Great. That's why she's saying, my president. All of a sudden, he's your president. These are the same jakes that go online and talk shit about the government. Yo, I can't believe Trump, not my president. Kamala should have been up in there, right? Now you strung up in another country and you want to pick the Caesar, right? You see the madness? But I got this precept right here, Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You know what she should have been doing is saying, yo, I'm wicked for living a worldly life. I pray the Lord have mercy on me. If there's any godly men out there, please pray for me, and I hope that I can get out of this situation because I'm fucked. What is she going to? The devil. The same one that's waging the war. Can you please stop? Like, he gonna listen to your dumb ass over there. Oh, yeah. Keisha from down the way, she just said we got to stop the war. Man, listen, we got to cut it off now. That's it.
The same guy that was when what was it? Puerto Rico was in a crisis. He went over. They crying out for FEMA. He come over there shooting a J with rolls of paper towels.
Mm-hmm.
You think he gonna care about coming over there to get you out of Dubai?
Khan, that's right, man. That's right. So the delusion of Eve knows no ends. And again, tying in with the topic, the title, that sense of being oblivious and not knowing what's going on. And, again, that video I just played, matter of fact, I'm going to play a little more on that.
I got another precept real quick.
You got it.
In the NLT, Proverbs 14:15, only simpletons believe everything they're told. The prudent carefully consider their steps. The wise are cautious and avoid danger. Fools plunge ahead with reckless confidence.
Read that last part again.
The wise are cautious and avoid danger. Fools plunge ahead with reckless confidence.
Mm-hmm. That's reckless confidence, man. That's foolishness. That's the definition of ignorance and stupidity. How the hell you go into a region, you don't know nothing about the history or the politics of that region at all. You just gonna show up and pop bottles in the desert. You stupid ass bitch, man. That's what you get.
Yeah.
And they look, y'all are so mean and that. Listen, we've been showing y'all love by warning you about these things. Okay? Now I'm gonna play the rest of this.
I've been blessed to be able to buy 3 different flights from 3 different airlines, and they've all been canceled. I don't know who this will reach. I don't know if it'll reach anyone. But I am not the person who gets on here like this. But I am desperate to get home to my family. So I'm asking, I'm pleading, please just whoever can help us, please just help. And it's not even about the financial part. We just don't have a way out. Every time we try, it gets canceled. So I'm putting myself out here on the internet.
You should be putting yourself out there to the Lord is what you should be doing. One dude commented, "Damn, so people really be taking these overseas flights without checking the political temperature of that region?"
Yeah, wise counsel would have told her, "Don't take your ass over there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, fuck it, go to Bahamas, somewhere close."
Yep. And you had a bunch of stupid ass Eves. And this is the thing, y'all Eves, y'all be giving each other the worst advice. Like
Yeah.
it ain't like you make a bad decision, and then instead of taking wise counsel after, like, damn, I fucked up. Anybody with any sense would be like, yo, I need to get some better advice. Like, yo, show me which way to go. They go to each other and give each other worse advice to make the situation even worse after. So she deserves to be made ashamed of. She deserves to be humiliated. And that could be her getting saved from that situation. But instead, they're gonna listen to each other. Because you got women on the comments that saying, oh, you know, the war just happened. How is anybody supposed to know that? When a bunch of men on the comments, and these are a lot of them are Jake men that are telling you, like, damn, y'all didn't check what's going on. These men are not even in the truth, and they were aware of what's going on in the region. Don't you know the proximity of Iran? Don't you know that these are all places that America has bases in that, you know? So even like, let's say, okay, nobody knows how it's going to pan out, but play it as safe. Listen, I'm going to stay away from that part because Trump, 1/3 of the American military is over there of the naval force, right?
Hold on, didn't a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so, they said that those aircraft carriers was on their way to that region anyway.
They've been there. They've been there for a while. They've been there since like January.
Right, but they sent 2 more over there in that region. USS some shit, I can't remember.
Abraham Lincoln and the Ford, Gerald
But it
Ford.
was enough time to be like, no, maybe I should cancel this. Like they sending ships over there. Let me stay somewhere close at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That there was more than enough time to make a decision to say, nah, I'm gonna chill. But y'all again, dwelling carelessly. You go to a country you don't know shit about, you know shit about the politics, and you just go over there and show up, all right, and you think shit is gonna be sweet. And the thing is, now it's gonna be to the point where you Jakes are gonna feel it domestically. Ain't gonna be nowhere to run. You think you're gonna run back because she thinks, okay, I'm gonna go back to America and I'll be safe. You ain't gonna be safe no matter where you go because you're a fucking idiot. Ultimately, it's beyond being stupid. It's just the Lord is not dealing with you. We could all get simple at times, but either the Lord imparted unto you wisdom or he did not. And clearly, for the most of y'all, he did not. So y'all can come back to America anyways. You still gonna get jacked up. It's not gonna make a difference. You know, the only thing the only way you're gonna get out of it is to repent. Okay, but based off look the situation she's in, she's trapped in a war-torn country right now. She's still not calling on the Lord.
Hey, what she said, it ain't the financial. I'm not worried about the price or paying. Gold and silver not delivering you right now.
Right. I'm willing to get whatever. You know, Trump, somebody help. Did she mention the Lord once?
Yeah.
Did she mention the you know the men of the Lord? You know, hey, if she humbled down, hey, the Lord could deliver you from any situation. But you know, these are the type of people that are going to go and get that MOTB up in them because they love this current world. They want to be able to go to other places and feel like they could go anywhere, be anywhere. I'm in the mix. I'm in Dubai. I'm over here. I'm over there. But your life is a mess. What are you running away from? Because you have no stability and peace in your mind. So you go to try to run to other countries and pursue after vanity to try to, you know, flex. And it's just like we were saying, and the brother Shalimar was marveling at it. Like, yo, you really traveling internationally just for an Instagram picture.
Yeah.
Risking your life, risking your ass, just so you could put for a post that's going to get a few likes. People don't give as much of a fuck as you think they do. All right? Nobody gives a fuck about, you know, Eve flexing. Everybody's doing it on social media. What does that does that differentiate you from anybody else? You just like everybody else doing the same shit. You see? But let me see. I wanted to pull this up too. Predictive history, right? So I wanted to get this about the asymmetrical. Y'all had any other points or precepts you want to bring out?
No, you're good.
All right, so let's pull this up real quick.
And in the borderlands, it's basically a different
No, not this one. This dude predicted history be going in. He be making some great points.
I hope everyone have a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world. I hope everyone have a nice break.
That was a good one too, though. But no, that wasn't it. Hold on, I got it right here. Did I send it to you? Yeah, here it is.
So another idea that I want you guys to understand is that it's asymmetry. Asymmetry. All right, so what is asymmetry? Asymmetry means that two sides are choosing to fight different wars using different techniques because one is much stronger than the other, okay? America is a great empire. It has unlimited resources. It has the USD. It controls the world, right? Ukraine is a country that has been under economic sanctions for the past 45 years. It's poor. Its technology is very limited, okay? But as we learn in this class, actually, those nations that are poor actually have more energy. They're more open, and they're more cohesive. All right, so let me give an example. This is what we call the Shahad drones. Shahad drones. Each of these drones costs $50,000 at most, okay? At most. It can go as cheap as $35,000 US. But one of them is $50,000. As you can see, you can fit a lot of these drones to a truck that can go anywhere in Iran, and they can hide anywhere. All right. So the thing to understand is, first of all, these drones are cheap. They're easy to make. They make about 500 a day. Okay, and estimates are about there's 80,000 right now that the Iranians have. So they can go on for a long, long time. Okay, and one of these drones again can knock out a desalination plant. It can knock out an oil field. It can knock out a hotel. It can do a lot of damage. Okay, and it's easily transportable. You can hide it anywhere. You can use it from anywhere, okay? And that's what the Iranians are using as an offensive weapon. And how do the Americans defend against this? They use something called a FAD, right? Right, guys. This is what they use. FAD. FAD stands for Thermal High Altitude Air Defense. And they also have like the Patriot systems. There's a lot, okay? The thing that you need to know about the system is it's really expensive. This missile, guys, costs $1 million. $1 million. So there's this $50,000 drone coming your way, and you throw a $1 million missile at it, okay? And often these missiles miss, so you have to throw $2 or $3 million on each $50,000 that they're going to spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that this thing is really big and really slow. And therefore, you can't really move it around. Therefore, where this is and attack it. And then when these things blow up, that's a lot of money, guys. Okay? Flexing. Okay? Flexing. You see how big and powerful I am? Okay? That's all it was. These weapon systems are designed to scare the crap out of you. They are designed to impress you. And as a result, they cost a lot of money, and they really don't do anything. All right? So that's the entire American military. It costs a lot, and it doesn't really do anything. And it's not resilient. It's not innovative. It's not open. All right? Also, the other thing I have to say this, okay, is if you look at the American military, it's corrupt.
Corrupt.
So this is really about corruption.
So that was basically it, though. So again, just drilling into points. As you can see by what he said, economically, it's not sustainable in the long term. And for Esau, Esau had a superiority complex. Who had he said the Napoleon complex? Who did that come from? Napoleon was an Edomite. Having that small man complex, where he has to, if he feel like he has to, if he spends the most money, if he beats on his chest enough, all right, all of the pomp and like he said, flexing, and I'm gonna 100 billion on this, 100 billion on that, $1 trillion budget. But here it is, $50,000 drone takes out your base. You see? Because now technology has accelerated. Knowledge has been increased. One example is in Las Vegas, right? They had this solar project, right, where they had a bunch of mirrors in the desert in Las Vegas. I think they spent like $1 billion on it. It only makes 20 million a year, and they spent $1 billion on it. So that'll take like 5, 10. It'll take decades for them to make the money back, right? For them to even make back their initial investment. But at the time, it was like, oh, this is innovative. And I think the mirrors, like, they focus the sunlight at boilers or something to create energy, whatever. But it's bloated, it's big, they spent all this money on it. And what is it good for now? Nothing. America's known for it. Okay. And then a few years later, a better technology comes, solar panels that's cheaper to make and smaller. And then, oh shit, we spent all this money on this for nothing. And that's what like drones and robotics and things has changed warfare. Okay, so yeah, Iran is getting the ass kicked, but for a small amount of money, they're able to compete with the greatest military on earth. And they don't have to, because another thing to remember is when you're being offensive, you're trying to penetrate into the country and completely topple it. They're just, all they have to do is defend themselves. They're not trying to go and they don't have to drop troops in another country. They just have to survive long enough economically to topple the world. And that's what's happening. And that's where you're going to have these economic calamities, man. All right. So I wanted to grab this real quick. If y'all had any points, precepts, feel free.
I was just going to say, like that video that we looked at earlier before the live, the Michael Jai White one, where it's like, again, he's showing the example where it's, he's going all in with the punches. But yeah, when he just did a simple, you could just play it.
I got you.
Also, fair use in all these videos as well.
Yeah,
I got caught with copyright.
Yeah, kind of same.
Like, what's your fastest hand?
I would say probably my left foot.
Okay, well, hey, put your left hand up. Like, just go like this, right? Now I'm gonna throw three jabs. Don't let me hit them. Don't let me hit your hand.
So what you want me to do?
Just move it out the way.
All right.
So now notice the speed of the first two. Right? Ready?
Yeah.
That's 1, 2.
Pause it real
now
quick.
here's
Pause
the
it.
third one.
So also notice not just the speed, but also his shoulder movement. His shoulder is showing before he actually comes, so you can see it coming.
Exactly. Beautiful point. Now, keep that in mind of what the video we just showed before this, and applying it to this video.
Don't let me hit it. Ready?
Yeah.
Out of hell.
Now you see that punch, he just went like this. It was simple. No, none of this, because what? Before the punch actually comes, it's like a wind-up. You go like this, so you can see the punch coming by what? The shoulder movement, then the punch comes. So you're able to prepare for it. As opposed to when he just went like this, there was no jerk with the shoulder. There was no shoulder move. It was just a straight coming at you. So to show you, just going back to that other video, just to show you that example of the other video, yeah, those punches, and he did another video where he's much older, because I think this is when he was younger, when he was doing Blood and Bone, but there was one where he was showing you how to throw a punch, and he was saying that there's a lot of guys that do this whole, they're hitting the bag, go, all this extra energy, but then he said that there were some women who were hitting the bag better than men just by having good form and just, that's it. You ain't got to do. He was saying all that energy just dissipates on the bag. Like, yeah, it sounds nice. You're hitting it hard and you hear that, but that's it. It just dissipates on the bag. But when you actually know how to throw a punch, he said he likens it to being like an arrow. You want your punches to kind of penetrate the person so that you actually feel that punch. It's the same thing like in football, right? Sometimes you hear those big hits where the pads will hit and you're like, oh my God. You hear the sound of the pads hitting, but I've been hit hard before. And you hear the sound of clash. But then I got up like it's nothing. And you've seen other players happen. So it's like, oh, that was a big hit. But it's like, you hear the sound and everything, because really the hit itself really didn't have an impact. It was just the pads clashing. That was all. But really the hit really didn't have no effect on a person.
Some of the loudest hits in football don't even really be hard hits. It's the ones you don't hear. Like the analogy he was using with fighting and boxing, and what he was talking about. In fighting, they call it no wasted movement. Like you ain't gonna throw a bunch of jabs and waste your movement. You're gonna throw the right jab, the right technique, and it's gonna be more devastating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of the times it'd be superficial, it'd be surface level. And again, comparing it to the American military and Esau's power structure as a whole, it's all superficial. You know, big explosion, big bombs. You know, they can do this and do that, but at the end of the day, Iran, with a few drones, took out all of these American bases.
Yep.
Which we just played the video. I said that earlier. So how much damage economically, how much damage has been done? Yeah, you took out their leaders, but they already knew they were going to be taken out. They had leadership set up after them.
Hey, and they had to use a lot of their $1 million bombs to really do nothing.
And billions in damage has already been done to them by a few drones that's worth a few $100,000.
Yep.
Maybe a few mil. But you talking about mil spent to take out a few mil. And that's just Iran. They haven't even got Russia and China involved yet. But Americans, their attention span and their memory is very bad. They forgot all about Iraq and Afghanistan. That's like, oh man, that might as well have happened in the 1800s with how stupid Americans are. And that those bloated wars, again, it was all this, big troops, big this and big that. What happened? A bunch of Americans were killed. They killed a whole bunch of people, 100,000, if not a million or more Iraqis and Afghanis, right? But what was the end result? It was a loss.
Yeah, because eventually all them Arab countries going to join forces.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And you see right now those countries that thought that they had security from America, now they're looking at it differently. So we're gonna see how it plays out. But they definitely do not feel the same level of security as they did before. Especially because now America's taking a lot of those other missile defense systems from South Korea, from other places around the world, other allies that they had to defend who? The small hat. So it's always about the small hat. All right. Let me see.
Slacky, just a quick point.
You got it.
I was gonna say as well, just to add on to that point with the missiles and things like that. One thing that I was just meditating that came to mind is like with Deontay Wilder, right? Just giving that example, right? In order to make, like the individual predictive history was saying, to make those American missiles and things like that, it takes it costs $1 million. So in order to do that, that also takes time because it also has to be effective and also has to work as well. So that takes time to make. So here it is, you're using all this, all your resources to make pretty much, it's like a one shot, right? And if you miss it, or if it doesn't really do any damage or anything like that, then you got to take extra time to make another one. So you're seeing the effect that it's having. Whereas, like the brother Ashar was saying, here's a couple of drones, you getting it in bulk. Get the fuck out of here. You getting it in bulk. So it's like a bunch of them. You getting like 10, 20 of them for a good amount of price. And you could do a lot more damage with that. The same thing like with the punch. If you watch, I think his name is Dante Wilder, or Deontay, however you say his first name. Mm-hmm. If you watch how he punches, he be like this. I seen like some clips and it's kind of funny. He be like this. But all that stuff, you gotta understand, yeah, you going for the one shot, and yeah, if it hits a person, it's gonna do a lot of damage, but also you're expending all your energy as well. And if that person knows how to either eat the hits or, weave out of the way, you just expelling all your energy, and what? You're getting yourself tired. Then later on in the fight, the person could come back and start tagging, but it's like, the person didn't do anything magnificent. You over here trying to be all this and doing all that. He be doing like the juke punch I see. He be like all this extra stuff, but it's like you're using up so much energy for yourself. Whereas the person is just keeping it plain and simple. But it's like, yo, how did Deontay Wilder lose? It's like, wow, he was doing all these but you're not seeing this person is doing too much and not getting value out of it, where the person is doing very little and getting value. That's the difference.
Yep. Yep. And they call it telegraphing your hits. America telegraphed big time, man. You see, they were talking for months about what they about to do, and this, you letting them prepare, you know, which goes to show you the ultimate thing was they want to crash the economy anyways. But Esau be shooting himself in the foot as a part of his strategy. That's how much the Lord got him fucked up. They think that by screwing themselves, they're going to somehow come out on top. Yeah, we're going to crash the world economy, and that's our plan. You know, it's a stupid ass plan. You know, all for control and greed, man. So his greed and his pride is his undoing. Okay, this is not a benefit to him. It's not an asset for him to be super puffed up and to think that he needs to spend $1 trillion on military and bankrupt himself and make an enemy out of the whole entire world. You got it.
Hey, Shalimar, this goes into what you said when you was trying to make sense of Esau's plans. Like, they doing all this just to minimize the population, let robots run everything, and then have a little bit of people left. You can explain it better than me.
No, it's just like, yeah, it's just, I can't find the words because there's times, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go on a rant, but there's times where it's like, I don't understand. Like, where's really, again, I'm just saying, it would be better if you keep things the way they are now. You actually have the population of people, and you actually have the minds of people without putting a device in them. You have people where you want them. But for some reason, which it's really the Lord, you want to go deeper and further, and let's put a small device in people's bodies to really control them. And it's like, yo, you already did the damage. You already did everything. It's like you don't understand. It's like you just trying to do. You have a program, you have it set up, you have a system, it's working, but for whatever reason, now let's add this. It's like, yo, bro, the system is working. It's perfect. It's good. The plan is there. You have the people. You have everything that you want. But just doing that little extra, let's add this to it. It's kind of like adding ingredients into a dish or whatever. It's like the dish is fine. You want to add a little extra. So no, you're gonna mess up the whole flavor. That's a little bit too much salt. What do you mean it's just a little? No, that's gonna mess up the whole thing. You actually have the world right where you want them. They believe that you're the people. You're above it. Everybody looks to you. But for whatever reason, let's put that little device, and now you trying to overstep. Now people is realizing stuff like, oh, yo, your action's a little funny. What you doing over there? They start scoping you out. They start looking at you because you're doing too much. You have it, but it just, none of it makes sense. The microchipping people, the wanting the robots, it doesn't make a single sense to do any of this. You're going to what? Microchip everybody, have people doing what? Nothing, or just people getting sick, because I'm very sure that they know that the chip is going to get people sick as well, because the scriptures talk about that. So it's then, what's the point of having that, doing that? You want to rule over people, but then nobody's going to be there to rule. It's like them cartoons where the villain would say, I want to destroy the whole world. It's like, okay, buddy, you destroy the whole world, then what? What? It doesn't make any sense. What are you doing? Even this whole stuff with just like recently the dude came out, property of Allah, and a sweater. Like, come on, bro. Who's wearing a sweater that says property of Allah? Come on, this is just nonsense at this point. This don't make no sense. Who's running around with a shit that says property of Allah? Like, you got to be better with your tactics and stuff like it. Just, I'm sorry for being ranty. It just doesn't make any sense. It's tacky. It's whack. You just all over the place. It's not. I understand it's for the common people, so that way they could use the minds of the people to come against us. But it's like, bro, who's wearing a sweater saying property of Allah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's played out. You know, standing out with thine enchantments. Everybody, man, I had regular people I knew from the world that was like, I seen them posting about it, like, yo, what is this shit? You know, like, this shit doesn't even make sense. Like, everybody's seeing through it. But at this point, they don't care because they're ready to kill as many people as it takes. See, you useless eaters, you actually thought that Esau was going to play fair with you. But I got this right here, 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein. Let me get the rest of it. Oh, I had this real quick. I wanted to play actually.
Whoa. Now, you got too much dip on your chip.
Dealing with Esau, all right? And dealing with the brother just saying, man, there's too much dip on your chip, nigga. All right? You got too much dip on your chip, Esau. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Okay, so that's an admonishment to us that knowing that this is happening, you see Esau got too much dip on his chip. That's a sign to us that this thing is almost over with. Okay, and let me see. Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it.
But Salaki, I just also want to say, my bad.
You got it.
The point you said earlier with stand now with thine enchantments.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense because like, what else are they gonna do? But it's like, even though it's like, what else are they gonna do? It just really shows like, yo, your whole tactics and plan from the beginning really made no sense. If this is how you're gonna end up, it's like, really, you did all of this. Think about it, you did all this work just to end up, and it's kind of like watching a good movie, and the movie starts off good, it has a good middle, it's like, okay, this is nice. Then the ending, it's like, really, that was it? It's like, I watched all that. The movie started off good, the peak of it was good, and then you just end off like that, like, really? And it's kind of like, yo, like, this is how you end up, like, really? After all that, you enslaved us, you did all this stuff, you broke our family down, you messed up the minds of our men, you messed up our women, all of this, right? Although it's not good for us, but it's good for you. You did all of this just to end up like this. It's not even like you're going out in style. Like, okay, like you're completely deceiving people. No, people is realizing what you're doing. People have an eye on you. Like, yo, even at work recently, dude was talking about, cool dude at the job, but dude was talking about, yo, he even knows what the food is like. He's like, yo, where's all this food coming from? People realize, yo, you're not feeding us actual food. Because it makes no sense. Where's all this meat come from? Where's all this? Like, there's not enough food to give millions of people like this. So it starts raising questions. So it's just like, yo, none of this makes sense. Even the eats the bugs and all that type of stuff. You're gonna feed people and stuff, and what? People gonna die. So none of this I'm sorry, but the plan just doesn't make. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot, shooting yourself in the head. It doesn't make any sense at all. You're gonna microchip people. People are gonna die from that because they're gonna get the cancer, the sore, the ulcer. You want to eat. People eat bugs. People's body cannot sustain off of that. They're gonna die from that. And then just in general, the nukes coming. So what are you gonna rule over? What is the whole purpose of any of this? But like the video, too much dip on you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Khan. Matthew 24:22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. If you let him keep going, he's gonna fuck up and kill everybody, even himself.
Yeah. Man, that's it. So as the brother's been saying, man, Esau, this is showing you that he's after the working of Satan. Okay. This is what happens when the Lord completely gives you over unto Satan. All right, which he was created to be. He was created to be under the vibration of Satan, the man of sin. Okay, so his whole existence is an embarrassment. Okay, and that's what he's wrestling with right now. Dealing with all of the problems that he's into. More money, more problems. Look at Esau right now. Okay. And then on top of that, all right, we said all that, and guess what? Yahweh Shai gonna return at the end. That's a cherry on top. All right. The top Israelite, all right, the captain of the heavenly host, the son of the heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai is about to return. Just to put the exclamation point on it all. All right. So you're done for, okay? And you know, you can do whatever you want to do to us. You know, you're gonna demonize us. We know that. You know, some of us you're gonna seek to decapitate. You know, some of us you're gonna seek to put us to death. Some of us you're gonna seek to put us in jail. Some of us you're gonna do, you know, whatever you got to do. But at the end of the day, you know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, you can't pluck those that belong to the Lord out of His hand. Okay, so even death can't stop us from the love of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, in life or death. You know, as long as you're of the elect, which we pray and hope that we are, you're good, man. So we ain't got nothing to worry about. You see us, we're not what did the Lord say? See that you be not troubled. Okay, by all these things, we're not troubled by it. All right, this doesn't, you know, keep us up at night. If anything, it keeps us up out of excitement, you know, out of joy of knowing what's happening. But it's not something that causes us to lose sleep. Like, oh man, the wars is happening. What do we do? I don't know. Our mind is single on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and the Lord's will can stay that way. You got it out.
Nah, we get charged up. We get charged up. Like we ain't going in desperate mode. Like, oh man, what's going on? We get charged up the more and more Esau goes further in with his plans, man. That's we know we that much closer to just getting up out of here and getting from under the control of this devil, man. The basis of men. I know it ain't written. I'm just speaking as a man, but a Moabite would have had a better in plan than fucking Esau.
Mm-hmm.
He just sitting there with a magnifying glass, like the little white kid you see burning ants. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It says he was given. It was given. You know, he had taken peace from the earth. Paraphrasing it. All right. He had that great sword to take peace from the earth, but that doesn't make your kingdom orderly. That doesn't make your kingdom prosper. You just reign in chaos and death. And then what? You know, it's just like the Ultron with the What If episode where Ultron got the six or all the Infinity Stones, and he destroyed everything. And then at the end of it, it said the realization almost broke the machine. And he was sitting there with his thoughts like, damn, yeah, so I destroyed everything and I have nothing left. Like, what do I do? Damn near head exploded. Like, yo, I killed everything. I accomplished everything I want to do. You know, he'll just be the last one left and then probably off himself. You know? So, you know, the Wadi Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that a righteous rulership is coming, man, because this man is out of his fucking mind. You know, but that's all I got. If y'all had any closing points, you know, you could bring them out.
No, I'm good. I just also want to say I don't want to make it seem like I'm advocating for Esau. I'm just saying I expected better, is all.
Right. Well, they talk so much shit, you know. It's like for you to just come with this shit is like it's pathetic how Esau's going out. But that's all prophecy. That's what he was created to do. You know? And you know, it's the Lord taking away from his glory, making a fool out of him. And you know, really it's all about Yahweh Shai anyways. Yahweh Shai is up next, and that's gonna make our kingdom shine and be glorified even more with how, you know, upside down and ass backwards this shit has been run. So yeah, you know, at the end of the day, let us fear the Most High. That's the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Lord and keep His commandments. You got it, Shamya.
Nah, that was it, bro.
Yeah. So hey, you know, Lord's will, y'all will edify. We'll go ahead and end it off right there. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, Lord's will, we catch up on the next one. Shalom to the elect.